CMAX Premier League action here at Diamond Sports Facility here at Softball South Australia on beautiful Ghana land. Eric Ballnar joined by Peter Williams for all of the action this afternoon. It's the Sturt Falcons who have won their first game of the season versus Walkerville, who have a draw, but they also have a loss. So winless, but they're not pointless.
Yes, that's right. Good afternoon, everyone. They were very close. They had their draw 1-1 last weekend. They went down in the dying stages last Wednesday night against Seacombe, but in a cracking match, and if they bring that sort of competition here again, they'll really take it to Sturt, I feel.
Walkerville was a finals team last year. Now, this year, it looks like the teams that were out of the finals have closed the gap a little bit. So Walkerville, probably that team is most susceptible to drop out of last year's top four. Still a very good side, and we'll go through the lineups later. But what has been sort of the flaw in Walkerville's two narrow losses so far?
Look, it's just come down to they've been really defensive. Obviously a 1-1 draw in the first one, and then the second one being 2-1. The defensive side's perfect. There's not an issue at all. But it's just come down to basically the hits. And the bottom end, I've had to talk to Bindi Stansfield. She really just wants to see her bottom 4 or 5 batters just really get hits and just get bat on ball, get onto the base. She has confidence that her top 4 or 5 in the lineup are going to be good enough to bring them home if they can get on.
Then on the other side, it's death, taxes, and, well, a pretty dominant Sturt side. They have been rolling to the finals for, well, as long as I can remember, and probably as long as anybody can remember, and the formula and the core is still there. Sarah Tonkin, Belle White, Maddie Cameron have been that core 3 on this side for a while now, and their pitching always seems to do enough to get them to the finals. And Zolly Adams, coming back from college, she'll be the woman in the circle trying to spearhead that this afternoon.
Yeah, so Sturt, obviously, every year they turn up with a formidable team. They're a very tough team, and that's no different again this year. As you said, that lineup is very, very strong, good with the bats, good with the field. There's a lot of experience there, and that's what's going to take them a long way again this season.
So look at Sarah Tonkin, the catcher for this Sturt Falcons team. We'll talk about her at length today and how she's navigated a few changes in this Sturt pitching staff every single year. And Zolly Adams, ball in hand. She only faced the lineup once through in her debut on the weekend, or her return to the Premier League last weekend. We'll see how Sturt deploy their pitching staff this afternoon. Zolly Adams, ball in hand. Let's play some CMAX Premier League softball. That's inside for a ball versus the very tricky Chelsea Robinson in the batter's box.
Yeah, we saw Chelsea the other night, got the run home. Nice big hit out to the outfield. She got on base a couple of times. Should be looking to do it again.
Walkerville trying to mix something up to try to find a way to string together some hits. Chelsea Robinson leading things off. Sophie King, a longtime Premier League player with some very good results. Multiple premierships. She bats second. This over towards third. What a snag by Abby Ware. And she throws across the diamond, tagged by Riley Moore. And there's the first out of the game. This will look interesting on the CMAX replay.
Yeah, just watching that live, the play, the ball just popped up a little bit on third. She really tried to get the effort into the throw, and it ended up being a tag out over at first. She had to jump high over there, and foot slid off the base, so she managed to get the tag in play.
Abby Ware just playing in her second Premier League game after making her debut on the weekend in the 8-4 win that Sturt had over Seacombe.
Yeah, she slots in to the dangerous position in there at third, where they'll get peppered at her, and this Walkerville top 4 or 5 have got plenty of punch in their hits, so they'll be coming her way.
Sophie King slots back in the lineup for Walkerville. She's up to bat now. She is another dangerous player. She's representing the Stars for a long time in her career, won a couple premierships for Walkerville, and having her back in the lineup might be that little bit of a key that Walkerville need to find some offense.
Yeah, definitely. She's got a lot of speed about her as well. She really fills that hole in at second nicely, and again, the experience around the young kids is absolutely what you need at this level.
Chelsea Martinez, the import, will follow her, and then Sophie Roberts, one of South Australia's best. She's on that national team radar, played in Italy over the summer. She's back in South Australia. And then the bottom 5 of this lineup of Haley Mayer, Jenny Gray, Georgia Mason, Maxine Saunders, and Steph Gall. As this is over towards third again. Scoop and fire. This one in the dirt, though, on the throw from Abby Ware, and the speedy Sophie King will get into scoring position.
Yeah, so that's where I said that speed of Sophie King. You know, she nearly made that, put the pressure on the throw. The ball was just a little dab off the end of the bat. the pressure on the throw down in the dirt. The first one went high, the second one went low, and Sophie was straight off to second, and that's what that speed can do, and that's how that pressure of this top 3 or 4 in this lineup can hurt.
It was a wayward throw and would be difficult for anybody over at first, but that's Riley Moore now taking over the first base side of things for the Sturt Falcons as Chelsea Martinez comes up to bat.
Yeah, Chelsea, we saw the other night, she's known to be a big, powerful hitter. She pitched the other night, she's back in there again today, but she can put a bong ball out to the outfield.
Martinez, the import for Walkerville this season, coming off an NCAA career.
Had a good talk to her before the game, asked her what she thought about her first time out there pitching the other night, and her exact words to me were that she liked the strike zone. So obviously a fan. She says it's a little bit different over here, the game, obviously different styles and stuff like that, but a bit more relaxed atmosphere, which makes her feel a bit more comfortable out there on the diamond.
That was a big swing she had as well. Just got a piece of it to stay alive, but 2 strikes on Martinez. And Walkerville, who have had trouble scoring runs early on, have a runner in scoring position. Martinez lays off of it, evens up the counts at 2. This is the part of the lineup you want with a runner in scoring position. Martinez and Roberts both can drive in runs. And a big strikeout from Zolly Adams. That one just drops in the strike zone, freezes the talented import, and it's 2 outs on the board.
Yeah, good change of style there. She got down nice on her and, you know, went back to the sort of the middle of the inside of the plate. She'd been pitching a lot really on the outside, trying to get her to reach, and held her up and she picked up the strikeout.
Sophie Roberts, fresh off the plane from spending, well, the European summer, the Australian winter in Italy playing softball. And by all reports, she loved her experience over there, would love to go back. And a big swing again, but right back to third. Abby Weir, no problem this time. 3 balls go over to that left side of the diamond, and no harm, no foul, but that's a tricky play you'll see on the CMAX replay.
That was hit very hard. The one bounce skipped straight up. She stayed down low. She got the ball in nicely, had more time by her side this time to get the ball over, and she's hit the perfect spot this time. After going high the first time, low the second time, she's done it perfectly the third time.
And if you want to advance clinical research, log on to cmax.com.au today. CMAX, the proud sponsor of the Premier League. We'll flip over the lineup card and we'll get to see the offensive attack of Sturt, and it is a powerful lineup top to bottom. Sarah Tonkin at first, batting first. Abby Weir in her second game getting trusted to be in that number 2 spot. Shows what they think of her coming into this lineup.
Yeah, very good, very confident to put her up there and amongst this lineup, and for big thing for her to have the confidence of sitting in between Sarah Tonkin and Belle White. Very likely to both be on base at some stage.
Well, the former vice captain of the Aussie Spirit, Belle White, will bat number 3. Maddie Cameron, another former national team player, at 4. Riley Moore, Zolly Adams got 5 and 6, and then some kids getting a look at number 7 and 8. Ashland men's 4th in Abby Kennedy, and the very experienced Rachel Tonkin will bat 9th. A very good lineup, but the danger really is with those number 1, 3, and 4 spots in this lineup.
That's right, and as we said, it does bat deep though. You know, you go all the way down, and you know, Riley Moore's no hack with the bat. She can get herself on as well. And then you get down to Rachel Tonkin at 9. She always tends to find herself on base and gives those top 2 or 3 the real strong chance.
Riley Moore going against her former club today in batting 5th for the Sturt Falcons. Chelsea Martinez, not normally a pitcher, you were saying, but she's being trusted to throw that yellow ball here in South Australia.
Yeah, you can, if you look at her history and her time over in America, she does pitch. Her pitching is one of her positions, but she has played first base and other positions in the field as well. Pitching isn't the only position she can play, so very good asset for Walkerville.
Walkerville haven't allowed a lot of runs, and it's been large part thanks to their great defense. Georgia Mason over at 3rd, another young star coming through. Chelsea Robinson, the national team player, at short. Sophie King at 2nd. Jenny Gray at 1st. Sophie Roberts catching behind the play, and then left to right in the outfield is Steph Gall, Haley Mayer, and Maxine Saunders. A young outfield for sure for Walkerville.
Yeah, very young, but at the same time,
This up but towards short. Awkward hop, but Chelsea Robinson handles that with ease.
Yeah, that one there just slipped up. A little awkward hopper at that last minute, as we see here on the CMAX replay. About the 4th or 5th bounce, it just popped up into the stomach region. But she got a gun arm from shortstop. She showed us on Wednesday night what she can do there, and she stays calm under pressure.
Abby Ware, Belle White, and Maddie Cameron are the next 3 up. It's just her 2nd Premier League game, and Abby takes that pitch on the inside. Run defense hasn't been a problem for Walkerville, allowing just 3 runs in their first 2 games. Swing and a miss, a nice off-speed pitch from Martinez. When we were following the box score of the game, we were calling a game on Diamond 1 and Walkerville playing on the backfield. At one point, it was 1-1 in the 5th inning. Martinez had a no-hitter, and they still had allowed a run. And that ball just completely slips out of her hand, and Martinez loses balance as well.
I don't know if we got a replay of that pitch there, but as she came off the plate, she's somehow fallen down and ended up on her backside, and I think had no control of where that pitch was going in the end.
And you'll see it on the CMAX replay here. Yeah, just lost balance.
Gets a really long stride. She's quite a tall person. She gets a very long hop and stride in there at the start, and I think that one there she found herself almost off the mat, if she wasn't off the mat anyway.
Well, Belle White has a runner on. She made an impact right away with the bat in game 1. She'll lay down the bunt here. It had to be a good play, and she's safe. Belle White hustling down the line. Damian McCauley says she's safe. Look at the run from Belle White down the line.
Yeah, she moved quick. She got there. She's put the bunt down absolutely perfectly. She probably practiced that about 1 billion times, and she's nailed it right. The arm from the pitcher just over, just probably 1/4 of a second behind the runner.
Maddie Cameron up to bat. She sees something she likes right away. She'll go for it. Didn't like that. It wasn't a great pitch to hit, so she lays off of it. She does take it for a strike.
Yeah, with only the 1 out, she's got time to have a look here, and those 2 runners out there that'll got fresh legs and young legs and out at second, and Belle White chasing her around, so a good hit here could help.
Ball in the dirt. That's going to advance 2 runners, so 2 in scoring position. A hit by pitch, a bunt single, and now a pass ball or a wild pitch is going to put 2 runners in scoring position for the very dangerous Maddie Cameron. Big early moment in this game. And Cameron crunches one to center field, but it's a line shot right to Mayer. She'll relay it in. They're going to try to get the runner at third. She slides in safe, but the first run of the game has been scored on the sacrifice. You can't really call it a fly, but a sacrifice dart from Maddie Cameron to center field.
Yeah, good piece of it she got there. Obviously out there, Hayley May knew what she had to come up with. She's made sure she got that throw in. Jenny Gray did the cut nicely. They tried to get Belle out at third, but she just had the speed to get across in time and get under the tag. So well done by Sturt to bring home the first run.
Riley Moore up to bat. There's now 2 outs on the board. And if Walkerville can get Riley Moore out here, they'll have survived a very dangerous opportunity with 2 runners on.
Yeah, Belle White sitting up at third. You know, if we can bring that one home, you've got 2 out. Oh, sorry, 2 out already. So you really want to hold her at third and try and just go to the batter.
Grounded over towards third. It's an awkward one to handle for Georgia Mason. Belle White is going to score. Riley Moore knocks in the run. You'll see it on the CMAX replay.
Yeah, just had a bit of ground to make up. Initial step went a little bit to the right. She had a bit of ground to make up there, Georgia Mason, and then it's just popped up through the hand out and it's just bounced out of the glove. Belle White was off, given 2 out, so she wasn't hanging around, and the run scored.
Last week, the game story was how punishing Sturt were of Seacom mistakes. Someone dropped a catch, someone made a little bobble in the field, and Sturt took advantage every time. In this inning, a hit by pitch, a free base, an infield bunt, and now an error, and 2 runs have crossed the plate.
And then amongst that, you got the experience of Maddie Cameron just putting one deep to the outfield to bring home the run. So that's what this Sturt team does. They're a powerhouse all the way through their lineup. They're strong in defence. They don't give you much in the field, So you really have to make the most of the opportunities with the bat.
A very demanding team. They'll make you pay for anything that you may blunder. And now Walkerville, who haven't scored more than 1 run in a game, are down 2, and it's just the first inning.
Yeah, they had the runners on as well in the first, so they had that opportunity themselves and couldn't get it through, but instead have done the opposite here.
Zolly Adams takes a first pitch strike. That hasn't been an issue so far for Chelsea Martinez. She's thrown that first ball into the strike zone more often than not this inning. That one she just loses command of a little bit.
So on Wednesday night, we had the 2 import pitchers pitching for Seacombe and also for Walkerville here, and it became a stalemate. The pitchers were just hitting their zones perfectly, and the defense was so strong, it just was a lock-away game. We nearly got the full 7 innings in. There was hardly any errors that night.
Is it a bit trickier at this time of day with the conditions? You know, it's a cold afternoon, only about 16, 17 degrees. It's windy. The light's changing, it's bright, then it's dark, but the wind really a factor today too.
Absolutely, and the overcast conditions, you know, it goes from that light to dark with the cloud cover over the blocking the sun out. And it's absolutely a change for some of these players having their first crack at coming out onto these main diamonds as well, getting the pressure of playing Sturt maybe for the first time in Premier League. And some of these players are just going to really learn quickly how much this Premier League is an absolute champion sport.
Adams flares one foul. Good battle here between Martinez and Adams.
Yeah, Martinez, absolutely, she's hitting her spot. She knows she's got the pressure right on Adams, but Adams is trying to make that play to make sure she gets the ball she wants, and when she sees it, she's going to hit it and take anything else out in the interim.
This one popped straight up in the air into shallow left field. Moving into it is Steph Gall. She makes the play, retires this side, but Abby Ware and Belinda White cross the plate, and Sturt are in a familiar position in front early.
Yeah, it's a spot they're absolutely familiar with. They know what's going on, and they'll hold that now. They'll make sure that they make Walkerville really have to earn anything out in that diamond.
Umpires today in the games, you've got Dave Borovnik behind the plate. First base, Damian McCauley. Third base, Ian Gray. I won't even try to do nicknames.
No, we passed on nicknames the other night as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got them, and I know they would have been given them over the time, but I think that's reserved for the legend that he was. Interesting pre-game here, I was hearing that Zolly Adams, the pitcher for Sturt, just going through bit of a fitness test before the game. Not sure what the concerns were there. She seemed to be okay through that first innings and come up to bat okay, so just wondering whether she had a little niggle and worked her way through it, but definitely just seeing that warm-up pitch there, she's all on firing at the moment.
It'll be interesting to see how Sturt manage their pitching stocks in this game. Last week versus Seacombe, each of their pitchers just went through the lineup once. It didn't really matter the situation. I don't know if that was pre-planned or not, but Zolly Adams went 1 to 9, and then they subbed her out for Ruby Fidge. She did 1 to 9, and then Olivia Durham came into the game.
Yeah, and I'd expect something similar again here. You know, early in the season, you don't really want to give up your players or injure your players too early. It's a long season. There's a lot of games to play. In amongst that, you've got nationals as well, so there's plenty of games for them to play, and the more opportunities these players will get to get out there on the mound and start pitching early on is going to be the difference at the end of the season.
There's no doubt that Zolly Adams is currently in line to be the ace of this Falcons team. South Australian with college experience. Swing and a miss on Haley Mayer.
Yeah, good change of pace there. Just pulled her into it, and she was looking to go hard at it and had to hold her hands back but couldn't.
Sort of a swinging run on this, and Riley Moore traps the ball, but it was always going to be an awkward play on the backhand, and Haley Mayer's aboard.
Yeah, I think she was going to make it. She had the speed, obviously, there, Haley May. As you see, by the time the ball was actually getting near the glove of Riley Moore, she was only a few steps off, and Rachel Tonkin just didn't quite cover the first either, so.
Jenny Gray going against her former team. She lays down a bunt, and it's a good one over at third. Ware's being tested a lot today. That throw was on the money, but they do advance the runner into scoring position.
Yep, lovely play there. Absolutely executed it nicely, Jenny. Again, that runner's in scoring position, but we're in that bottom part of the lineup now that Bindi wants to see put some bat on ball. So if we can do that and they can score a run out of that bottom end, the top end will be able to hurt them again as they come through.
And if 7, 8, 9 get it done, that's how games are won. And the first pitch strike from Zolly Adams. Georgia Mason, Maxine Saunders, and Steph Gall are the 7, 8, 9 hitters on this Cats side. And Georgia Mason, young player, but she's got some power about her.
She does. She last season through the Premier League was brought in a few times as a designated player to have a hit, and did get a few big hits out to the outfield. She's quite tall and a strong upper body person. She's only young, so we don't want to burn her out, but she's got a lot of talent.
Swing and a miss. Zolly Adams looking very relaxed out there in the circle.
Plenty of smiling going on, and another change of pace just pulled the batter through early.
Hit right back at Adams. She has to defensively block that. She'll just hold fire. She won't get rid of the ball. Won't risk any errors. That came right back at her. You had to see a bit of a defensive block right away.
Yeah, it got up on her really awkwardly as well where it came. It didn't go at a spot where she could get her glove easily to it, so she just had to protect herself, and unfortunately for her, it bounced the wrong way and went off towards third, which got the runner up to first.
Runners on the corners. Maxine Saunders standing on that left side of the plate. First pitch strike from Zolly Adams.
Yeah, we saw the other night Maxine in her first game in the Premier League. She actually bats left and right-handed. The first two at-bats, she was in the left-hand side, switched over for her final at-bat over to the right-hand side, so a little ambidextrous.
Well, she's behind now, 0-2. Walkerville had a runner in scoring position in the first inning and 2 cracks at it with Martinez and Roberts. They couldn't bring her home. Now a runner in scoring position and 1 out. Just a fly ball should score a run. And she's gonna poke that into the outfield. That will cash in a run for sure. And Maxine Saunders, you have a Premier League RBI.
Yeah, lovely. She checked on that swing. She just punched at the ball, got bat on ball, just cleared the glove of Rachel Tonkin. And the runners obviously advanced through to second, and the runner from third slid home nicely. This is exactly what Bindi wanted from this bottom end. If Steph Gall can get herself on base and advance these runners, that's going to be really dangerous with that top of the lineup again.
Still only 1 out. Georgia Mason, she hit that ball hard right back at the pitcher, advanced a runner to third. Maxine Saunders cashed her in, and now if Steph Gall can do anything but ground into a double play, you're going to have Chelsea Robinson up to bat with a couple runs on the base paths.
Yeah, nice hit to the outfield and advance those runners with the with Chelsea coming in is going to be very handy indeed.
Sarah Tonkin needs to be good defensively behind the dish for Sturt.
And she is. We know Sarah Tonkin. She's formidable in there behind the plate, and she'll be a nice and calm person in there. She doesn't seem to rattle too easy.
That pitch rides up inside. Adams tried to mix things up with the 0-2 count.
Yeah, not sure that went exactly where Sarah wanted it. She was sort of shaping for the outside of the plate and had to reach up high and inside, so might have just got off right the target there.
Count even at 2. Bright a second ago, cloudy and overcast now.
There's a few grey clouds shimmering in behind us. Not much rain forecast for today. We've had a little bit already earlier this morning, but
this lifted high in the air, deep infield, and it drops in. There'll be a play over at third, sliding in safe. It was a force out, and that's an awkward one for a runner on the base paths because you can't leave the base too much because you could get tagged up, but you can't be too far back either.
No, that was a bit unfortunate there for Georgia Mason. She darted back to second, just hoping that ball, thinking the ball was going to get caught. It floated just with the wind. Strong winds, as I said today. Marquee's getting lifted just next to us here, but Southerly's blowing, just carrying that ball that little bit further, and I think that was what helped there, and it definitely helped with the one before as well. And catches yourself out as a runner.
Well, it's decision time now for the Sturt Falcons and Coach Justina Adams. Solly Adams has now faced everybody in the lineup. She's either going to face Chelsea Robinson for the second time today, or will they make a sub like they did last week?
Not a lot of movement over on the bench there in keeping warm or anything, so I'd say they're probably going to hold her for a little bit longer yet.
So 2 outs on the board. Runner on first, runner on second. And the all-Australian Chelsea Robinson up to plate. Robinson goes bang. Runner will advance to third and get the wave around home. Here comes the play at the plate, sliding it out. What a relay to end the inning and preserve the lead.
Yeah, good piece from Chelsea. She did exactly what was needed, put the ball out to the right side of the diamond. But Sturt, they're a well-drilled team, as we see here on the replay. Split the gap past Rachel Tonkin. Out at right field, Abby Kennedy there. She's fielded it up nice and cleanly. Got the throw straight in, hit the cutoff very well Briley Moore. Nailed the throw down, and of course, Sarah Tonkin at home plate knows how to finish that off, and she got the tag in probably about half a metre short of the plate.
Well, I do like that they sent the runner. I know it's always tricky, and hindsight's always going to be 20/20, but you saw how close that play really was. That had to be perfect. A perfect throw from Kennedy. You saw it on the CMAX replay. A perfect take from Moore, a quick transfer, and a perfect strike in the perfect position to Sarah Tonkin. There's a lot that had to go right to record that out, and credit to Sturt for pulling that play off, but I think you send that runner every day of the week.
Oh, you got to attack early in the game. You've got your runners out there. You've got the top of your lineup coming through. You send her home and you just hope. And at the end of the day, she wasn't far off, and as you said, it was on the defensive team to have to make everything right.
So a nice pushback from Walkerville, the potential tying run tagged out at the plate. They turn it over now. Ashlyn Mensforth, starts things off. Entertaining start to this game so far.
Yeah, as I said before the game, you know, Walkerville were hoping from the bottom end to put a bit of bat on ball, and then hopefully their top end could do the job. And as we saw there, that's what the top end of their lineup can do. They can put ball in play. And I think Bindi would be very happy with the way that bottom half of the lineup started the first time round. So Sturt, though, as they always are, well-drilled team and know how to make the plays when they need it.
Mensforth fouls this away. How's the Sturt youngsters already getting involved? Abby Weir had a big play over at third. That one goes foul. Abby Kennedy had that nice relay in from right field.
Yeah.
Softball factory.
It is.
Sturt.
They just keep turning them over. They've got a really good program going on, and I mean, they've strong through most of the grades that we've got here, so it's no surprise to see their A grade sticking it every year, coming in nice and tough.
Pitch on the outside.
That last foul ball down the left field line, that was a nice piece. Just turned her hands over it a bit early, and that probably was the difference. But
Mensforth knocks it over towards third. Getting down low is Mason, and a great pick over at first base from Jenny Gray.
had to be quick there. That ball had to make a bit of ground up to start with Georgia Mason, as you see here. She had to get in, down low, got the ball, and she's thrown it nice and low to Jenny Gray over at first, but she got herself down and picked the ball up just in time.
Abby Kennedy. She was the key part of that relay on the 9-3-2 tag out at home.
Yes, plenty of experience here in Abby Kennedy. She knows what she's doing. She's a really good, smart player, so that was no surprise to see her pull that last play off.
What state teams is Abby Kennedy on?
Yeah, we're just going to have a quick look. She's obviously been involved with them quite a lot as we just scroll through. I'll get back to you in a sec on that.
Lays off a pitch, keeps it 2-1. That punishing first inning where they scored 2 runs, the difference right now off a couple Walkerville mistakes.
So Abby's been named in our under-23 women's team. So Zali Adams as well, who's in this game, is in there. Riley Moore's in the game. Sophie Roberts is in that team. So Ruby Fidge, she's sitting on the bench at the moment. You'll probably see her at some stage. I've seen out on the other diamonds today already. Gemma Letton's been out there playing. Zoe Thompson's been out there playing. We saw a Wednesday night Becky Havas from Seacombe. So Naroha Munro as well. So really good, strong under-23 team there that will be here battling it out in December with Justina Adams as the coach of that team. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be a strong competition.
Gets her looking. What a pitch from Chelsea Martinez. That's her first strikeout of the day.
Yeah, I think that one there looked like Abby Kennedy thought it was probably going to be a bit low, but it just hung up on the bottom edge of that strike zone nicely, and Martinez showing her class, and little drop at the end, which probably was the deciding factor in whether she was going to swing or not.
Rachel Tonkin rounds out the lineup.
Yeah, Rachel Tonkin, speed, and also is very consistent generally with the bat, gets herself on, and it just seems to be nice and calm under pressure. So again, with the rounding to the top again, she'll be looking to find herself out on base.
Pitch again on the inside.
This is where Walkerville's got to be strong. They're in that nice part of their lineup when they come back into bat. So if they can hold Sturt out here and just be that 1 run down, they'll be trying to see if they can make it out amends in the next innings.
Swing and a miss. So she's back in the count, evening things up.
Yeah, it was a big swing, that one. She obviously liked what she saw, but just off target with the swing.
Got her looking again. And Martinez will strut off. Comes back with 3 straight bullets to strike out Rachel Tonkin.
That was a good comeback there. There's 2 strikeouts to finish it off. A very late call there from the plate umpire. He obviously had a good look, but came up, called it late, caught the inside of the plate, and got the strikeout that they were looking for.
Well, the 2, 3, 4 batters coming up here. And I think we are going to have a pitching change. Are we? No. Yes,
yep, Ruby.
We are. Ruby Fidge is into the game. So they weren't far off from letting her run through the order once. They let her finish the inning in Zali Adams. She allows just the 1 run. Had a couple hits splattered in there. Walkerville, though, did pressure. They had a runner on second in the first with 1 out. Martinez and Roberts couldn't bring her home. And then the bottom of the lineup for Walkerville generated all kinds of pressure. Chelsea Robinson, she sprayed one to the outfield, and a great relay started by Abby Kennedy through the tying run out at the plate, and that is why it's a 2-1 game right now. Ruby Fidge, who pitched the middle innings of last week's win over Seacombe, is back in the ball game this Saturday as well.
Yeah, 90-minute game, half hour for the first pitcher. They'll probably see through another half hour of this one and then see where the game's at, and may even bring in a third one.
Guess that would be Olivia Durham if that's the case.
Yeah, it would be. You'd imagine she'd roll in at some stage, depending on how close the game stays and what position it is at the time. Obviously, all of these pitchers are capable of doing 7 innings or as long as they need to if they have to. But as I said earlier, it's a long season. You want to try and look after your players.
Sophie King has been aboard already. She got to second in that first inning.
Yeah, she was the one that made herself to second just on a bit of a wild throw and scooted around, got out to second base quite nicely, so she'll be looking to get out there again.
Ball just slipped out of Ruby's hands. It's now a 2-1 count.
Sophie fairly patient in there, as we said, first game back. So getting her eye in at the moment.
Two. Any ball in play here is a threat with Sophie King's speed. Over to Tonkin. One down.
Stock standard play there. She punched her hands at it, but it just railed along the ground nicely. And Rachel Tonkin, plenty of experience out there at the second base position, and picked it up cleanly, got the throw over, and doesn't matter how quick you are when that play is out like that.
Good look at the CMAX replay. If you want to advance medical science and get paid for your time, log on to CMAX today. Chelsea Martinez. Critical first out there from Ruby Fidge, knowing how dangerous this middle of the lineup is with Martinez and Roberts. Changes the whole complexion of how you attack it.
Yeah, it does, and you know, you're basically just swinging away still to get yourself out there. Chelsea's comfortably good enough to put a ball out deep to the outfield, so she'll be looking to get herself on base though and try and start something. Hopefully the Walkerville team second time round can do what they did the first time and will provide opportunities at the plate.
Grounded right back to Rachel Tonkin, and it's the second out. So the first inning, well, the first inning in a bit, it was Abby Ware that had to make 1, 2, 3 plays. She'd been involved in a few of them. She had a tag out, and now it's Rachel Tonkin getting involved in the action.
It swung from the left side of the diamond to the right, and carbon copy play there, and nice and easy for Rachel.
Always curious to see what players like Sophie Roberts are like when they get back from a European experience, how that advances their game. Well, she powers one to the outfield, but it's right to the breadbasket of Maddie Cameron. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Ruby Fidge versus the 2-3-4 part of the lineup for Walkerville.
Yeah, welcome to the game to Ruby. Just saw 3 batters and put them all back in the shed. So if she's only going to pitch through the lineup once, she'll probably get a few innings in if she does that.
Well, the game certainly settled down from an exciting start where there were 3 runs scored in the early parts of the game, 2 in the bottom of the first from Sturt, 1 in the top of the second from Walkerville, a play at the plate. But now just a 1-2-3 inning in Chelsea Martinez's last digs. Now a 1-2-3 inning responded by Ruby Fidge.
And importantly here for Sturt now, rolling back to the top of their lineup. So they're going to end up having a nice, strong chance here to try and see if they can advance that lead. Just a delay while Sophie Roberts gets her catching gear on. Obviously the last at bat, so she's rolling out on the diamond now.
Leading things off, Sarah Tonkin. Tricky part of the lineup. Tonkin, Ware, White, and Cameron. This is where Sturt will have an opportunity to get a little bit of distance.
Yeah, they'll be looking to advance this. As you said, that you know that first innings they went out hard early. That top part of the lineup that's so strong and so consistent. Put the runs on the board, and that's where we're back at now for the third.
Tonkin takes the first pitch. She's been attacking inside and out so far, Martinez.
Had a really good look there, Sarah. She saw the changeup, thought about it, just held off it and saved herself a spot in the box.
Tonkin, that is a classic Sarah Tonkin, pulling things over to the left side of the field.
Yep. Still don't work out why teams have a right field for her. She hits everything left side of the diamond.
The softball shift. Get it on her.
We've seen it. It wasted out at right field for her unless you're just backing up the first base.
Well, lives to fight another pitch.
Big fan of those shoes she's got. Very bright. Goes with the personality.
Holds fire. Big full count pitch coming here for Martinez.
Interesting to see her batting style in the box. She sort of walks into the pitch. The back foot steps across as the pitcher starts to wind up.
And a pull again.
And then that front foot comes forward pretty well on release. So she's moving in there and getting herself ready for everything.
An active batting stance, you would say.
Yeah, very active. I don't know if it's off-putting at all for a pitcher. I mean, I suppose if your job's just to put the ball over the plate, but having a batter moving around there could be the easiest thing to be watching.
Grounded over towards third, getting down and making the play is Mason. It won't be in time. It was a tricky one, but a good battle from Sarah Tonkin is won. And there's a base runner aboard.
Yeah, see the replay here. Fielder comes in, may have been able to let that go for a foul ball with the speed of Sarah Tonkin, but tried the play and wasn't able to capitalise on it.
Bunt shown from Abby Ware. Tonkin's got to get back. It was close, but she slides in under the tag. Quick smart from Chelsea. Or from Sophie Roberts, rather, behind the dish, trying to keep her in check.
Yeah, Sophie's got a strong arm. You can't get much away from her.
Now that bunt equation sort of out of it now. Well, it looks like Belle White's going to have, unless there's a double play, a base runner. Same with Maddie Cameron. So that leadoff was just so crucial for Walkerville to make sure they got out. Up in the air, in foul territory. It's playable, but it drops in between Mason and Roberts.
Yeah, I think there might have been a bit of lack of communication there between Mason and Roberts. Roberts was going hard at it. Mason was sort of looking, wondering what the catcher was doing, and as a result, it split the gap.
Knocked to right field. A nice take, though, from Maxine Saunders, and it's one down.
Well done there by Maxine. Came in down low, as we see here on the CMAX replay, down low and to the left. She's managed to get it and hold the runner in nicely. If that had got through, with the speed of Tonkin, she would have had a runner in scoring position for Bell, but instead, she's just got a runner standing on first.
Two cracks at it with a runner in scoring position, or not runner in scoring position, but runner on for Belle White and Maddie Cameron. Runner is going. Tonkin pushing the pace, and she slides in, so now there's a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, good fakie there by Bell. She had no intention of getting that on, just cover the plate, make it difficult for the catcher. And speed of Sarah, she was going to get there all the time.
A lot of experience with Belle White. Obviously, South Australia's rep in the 2020 or 2021 Olympics. Softball back in the Olympics now.
Absolutely fantastic to see. The softball is going to get a crack in the Olympics in 28, and then obviously hopefully following on through into 32 up in Brisbane. And good opportunity, obviously backing off the World Cup next year over in Italy as well. So good to see some opportunities for the softballers at a national level to get, or international level, to get some TV time as well.
Australia will have to qualify for that event.
Yeah, they will. I'm confident that they've got the depth in our international standards. We've seen here in Adelaide recently in the Open Women's what's coming through in the 23s as well. We've got some very good depth, and I think we'll be fine to qualify. But
flared into foul territory, and it's in and out of the glove. And you saw this last week. Belle White did exactly that. It was a foul ball over towards first. It was in and out of the glove. Belle White lived to fight another day, and then a couple pitches later, she smacked a ball to the outfield and cashed in some runs.
Yeah, you don't give her chances. That was a great effort there, though, by Jenny Gray to make the distance and get over. That fence was closing on her quick.
White to third. Scooped up and firing across the diamond. Did she hold on? She did. Mason to Gray, and it is 2 outs.
Similar play to the first innings for Belle White. She put that ball down to third but beat the throw. On this occasion, bit of a cleaner pickup from Georgia Mason, and she got the throw over nicely. Held on well as the runner came through, but advanced the runner. Speed up runner's gone out there, and it looks to be Olivia Durham who's gone out.
Maddie Cameron has an RBI in this game already. It was a line drive to center field. It was caught by Haley Mayer, but there was a runner at third. A sacrifice won't work here, but a ball in the dirt will. It's 3-1.
Yeah, that's not what they wanted there. That's hit the front of the plate and kicked up over the catcher. So not much that could have been done there by Sophie Roberts. It was a difficult one to get. As you see, it's just kicked up over, and the runner was easily going to get home on that one.
You make a mistake against the Sturt Falcons, they'll make you pay. Cameron takes a strike. We've seen Martinez battle back a couple times from these 2-0 holes she's been in and strike batters out.
Yeah, we saw it at the end of the last innings, those 2 strikeouts that were right clipping edges. So
well, we were worried about the top part of the lineup for Sturt, and so far Tonkin, Ware, and White have all scored the runs. That's the top 3 batters in the lineup, and Maddie Cameron has the RBI.
Yeah, talking to a few of the Sturt players and observing last year a lot, they really do like the ball coming on, so that the slower pace is a bit difficult. Now, I've noticed Chelsea Martinez has had a few of them and caught a few of them out already in this game. She's going to it a bit more now, so whether that's a ploy to try and keep the pace off the ball, we'll see how Sturt adjust.
Two, 2. Maddie Cameron, deep center field, leaping back and making the play is Haley Mayer to end the inning.
That was good there. Haley has on her horse heading backwards, head up in the air, chasing that ball and following the flight. As you see, it was a lovely piece, but she's just managed to get herself back to a good position. Just bobbled up a little bit as well, so she'll be happy she got out of that one, Haley, but it was a nice way to end the inning.
Maddie Cameron's had some daggers thrown out towards center field today, hasn't she?
She has. For a person who likes to field out there, she also likes to put the ball out there a lot. So that first hit was a definite setup, the one that she put out there for the sack fly, but this time round she's done it again, just didn't quite get the distance she was after.
Well, we've reached pretty much the exact midway point of this game. 3:46 local time. Game starts at 3 o'clock or just slightly after. It is a 90-minute timed game, no new innings after 85, so we've reached those final 40 minutes, but we've played 3 innings, so it's moved along at a decent clip.
As the rain now just drops in a little bit, a few drops coming in, but grey clouds hanging around. There is blue skies coming, so might just have a little light shower brush across us.
Yeah, I don't think it should be anything too much to delay the game. But what's another twist to this one? The weather was a factor. The wind has sort of died off a little bit, but now pitching becomes interesting.
Gripping the ball could become awkward here with the wetter ball, but it's only a little light dust, so it's not going to be too much.
Haley Mayer. Some wind sweeps across.
That last innings, the wind did completely drop away, which then followed through with this rain, so if the wind can pick up, it'll blow it over pretty quick. The batter's just got to be patient in there, as you said, now with the gripping of the ball becoming an issue, or potential issue. The batters can just stay deep in the box here and get through the counts, and should be in their favour.
Swing and a miss. Ruby Fidge came in the game to start the 3rd. She retired them in order, 1, 2, 3. That was King, Martinez, and Roberts. Zolly Adams started the game, allowed 1 run in the 2nd inning. Sturt 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd. Off of pass balls, errors, and a sac fly. So there's been no huge booming hit that's cashed in runs yet.
No, and I think, as we said earlier, a couple of lucky chances, maybe a little error or two helped Sturt in the 1st innings get 2 on board.
Swing and a miss. What a nice start to her afternoon appearance for Ruby Fidge today.
Yeah, she's getting through the lineup nicely. She's pitching well. She's actually looks to be on song, and that's exactly what you want when your relief pitcher comes in, ready to go.
Jenny Gray takes a first pitch, playing her former club. A little bit of more rain picking up now. You can see the hills in the distance. Their visibility, normally they're perfectly clear. They're just sort of faint shadows out in the distance, but over to the, well, what, the south, pretty blue skies and clear.
Yeah, I'd imagine looking up in those hills, the hills competition up at Mount Barker might be struggling to be playing at the moment. It looks like some pretty decent rain falling, and has been falling for at least the last half hour. But yeah, as you said, some good blue skies behind us. The wind picking up now, so it'll blow over quickly, we hope. Of course, the boss here, James Harris, he'll be happy the Diamonds getting a little bit of water on him to keep the dust down.
Now it's just awkward, though. A little bit of moisture in the air, some wind. Got colder, and a smashing hit from Jenny Gray right back up the middle. And it's another base runner, the first Ruby Fidge has allowed.
That was a lovely piece, that. It was just in the slot. She liked it. She got it out there, a nice solid contact, and slides herself up to first comfortably.
Well, you did mention the bottom of the lineup, Walkerville really wanted to get going. They've had Haley Mayer reach on a single, Jenny Gray, single, Georgia Mason reached, Maxine Saunders had a single, and Steph Gao was on a fielder's choice. All 5 of the players in the bottom 5 of this lineup have now been on for Walkerville today.
Yeah, exactly right. We're at our second turn at bat for the lineup, and as you say, all 5 have got on base, which is exactly what Bindi was wanting.
The problem is Walkerville is sort of continuing trends with their offense from games 1 and 2, in that the whole lineup's just not quite syncing up. Bottom part has got on, top part hasn't brought anybody home. In other games, top part was getting on and bottom couldn't bring them home.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was what Bindi was saying before the game, is 1 or 2 of the bottom people just get themselves on. She would be confident the top order couldn't get them round, and that's probably where we've been different today. The bottom order have got on, and the top just haven't quite done what's needed yet.
Getting gusty down at the ballpark now. Fouled away.
See Chelsea Robinson up there doing the first base coaching job at the moment, so good experience there for these young kids when they're getting on base, for her to be able to tell them where and what to do and how to be.
Mason just holding firm here. She's fouled a few away to stay alive, keep it at 2 strikes.
Yeah, she's shaking her arms around there. Just probably a couple of them have hit a little bit awkwardly on the bat as well. But as you said, she's holding herself in there, and that's what you want to see. Get these pitches going deep in the count.
Shot to right field. That goes foul as well. Mason had that really good battle in her first time up, I believe.
Yeah, she stuck around nicely in the first time. She hit that good one back at the pitcher that unfortunately was a little bit too hot to handle there for Zali Adams, and it bounced off her, but got herself on base. She's sticking around okay. She's concentrating. She's getting bat on ball, and that's the main thing.
This one drifting out towards right field. It cuts back in the field of play, trying to double her up. It was a nice take from Abby Kennedy. She's already thrown 1 runner out. It was the tying run in the 2nd inning. Kennedy started the relay that threw out the runner at the plate. She makes the play here. It's 1 down. Tried to get her at first.
Yeah, quick movement there from Abby in the first probably 3 or 4 strides. Put herself in a really good position and did the nice hop for the throw-in.
2 down. Maxine Saunders had the single in her first time up to right field.
Yeah, the first at bat, she just got bat on ball, concentrated with just getting bat on ball, and the speed of Zali was enough to get the ball flying just over Rachel Tonkin at second base.
Couple strikes on Saunders.
And I'll tell you what, Borovic behind the plate here doesn't give anything away. He doesn't shy, he just stands, concentrates and holds his spot. You cannot pick what he's about to call.
Good block from Sarah Tonkin. Well, that is another walk, so they had a few runners on in the 2nd, runner in scoring position in the 1st, and now 3 to 4 innings, that's runners in scoring position. Steph Gall up to plate.
And you see there, Ruby's just come off the back of 2 batters who have taken her to counts in the pitch, which has made her have to pitch a few more and put a bit more variety on, and batters have succeeded out of it.
Knocked to right field, and it goes off the glove of Tonkin. The bases are loaded. It was a good throw from Kennedy. They decided not to send the runner this time around.
No, that was a nice hit. It's just flicked the top of the glove as it's gone through here, as you see. It just bounced off. Runners have got themselves through with 2 out. They were going anyway, so they were well down the line. Loaded up the bases, and Chelsea Robinson back into the box.
2 outs, bases loaded, team down by 2. The leader and former national team player in Chelsea Robinson up to bat. This in the dirt.
As you see there, Sarah Tonkin just lost that one when it came back up. Had no idea she was turning around to come back, but loud calls from Bell White at shortstop there telling her where it was.
Robinson gets a piece of it. Now it's sunny outside again.
Yeah, 4 seasons in one day. Someone wrote a song about that.
Two strikes. Bases loaded. Robinson holds her nerve.
She prepped herself early here. Chelsea gets a hitch round ready to go, so she's looking to go big here.
Up the middle, and a nice play from Fidge, and she gets out of the jam. That would have been dangerous if that got through, but Ruby Fidge, a nice defensive play on the CMAX replay.
Yeah, hit lovely here, but just bounced up. Ruby, a bit of a reflex, put the glove down somewhere near where the ball was and just managed to have it right on key. And just made it nice and easy to get the final out for the innings and make sure that nothing scored. But as you said, that had got through. A couple of runs coming over would have tied us up.
Well, Robinson was the batter when she sent one to right field that started the play at the plate. And then there, a nice defensive play from Ruby Fidge. Keeps runs off the board. Walkerville have had plenty of chances. They just can't quite. They got the foot in the door, but they haven't walked in the room.
And again, it's that bottom end of the order that's getting themselves into good positions. So they just need to somehow make that change up and get the top order going. For those interested out on the back diamond, Diamond 2 today, at the moment we've got Glenelg playing West Torrens. After this we've got Port Adelaide playing the Hills on Diamond 1 here. But Glenelg, West Torrens out the back diamond, currently locked away at the bottom of the 4th at 2-2 apiece.
Glenelg are the bit of a dark horse team this year. Haven't really been near the finals in the last few seasons, but they've started off with a win and a draw. And they have Yo Grauer in the circle. They have a new import today as well.
Yeah, well, Port Adelaide's out there today. They've got Jade Peterson's pitching at the moment. No Yo Grauer from what I can see out there at the moment. But Jade Peterson's out there pitching at the moment. They got on top early, Glenelg. They put one in the second innings. They put one in the third innings, and then West Torrens came back in the bottom of the third to even it up at 2-2. So
now Glenelg have another import coming over, don't they?
Believe so. They
not in the lineup today.
I can't see it in the lineup at the moment, but
up the middle, right back to Martinez.
Definitely a close game though, and as we said earlier today, you know that the top three that we're used to seeing sort of playing themselves through the finals, your Sturt, your Port Adelaide and your West Torrens, you'd think they'd be there again this year, but that 4th spot is going to be a tough one to fill out between the remaining teams.
Ruby Fidge hitting for Zolly Adams. She replaced her in the start of the 3rd inning in this circle. Be interesting to see what they do. Will Olivia Durham come in the next game? I don't see anyone warming up.
There's not a lot of movement over there, but there wasn't a lot of movement either before Ruby came on, so I'd imagine they've done a fair bit of work probably before the game, and they've got it down pat. They know when they're coming in.
So will they do another pitching change? That's the question, or will they keep going with Ruby Fidge?
Well, I think at the moment Walkerville's actually showing that they're pretty strong, and they're coming into that part of the lineup.
Fidge knocked over to short. Robinson, what a play.
Strong arm helps, and she's definitely got that. She stayed down low on it, made sure she had it, and then got that nice throw over. Look at that, hit this. Jenny Gray did not have to move. The second that ball left the hands of Chelsea Robinson, she did not move. It went straight where she asked for it.
She can play. Ash Men's 4th.
Yeah, as I was saying, I don't know if a change will come. Walkerville's coming into that part of the lineup that's been going okay today, so whether they're only a little bit off, although as I speak now, I just see Olivia Durham's walked herself back in from having a little warm-up out the back, so it may be coming.
Straight up in the air. Robinson makes the play, a 1-2-3 inning, her second 1-2-3 inning of the day for the import pitcher, Chelsea Martinez. We're through 4 innings, well, 3 1/2 now, but we're through 4 innings, 4 complete innings. There you go.
4 complete innings in a 3-1 lead to Sturt. We'll just have a look who's coming out here. Now, it looks like Olivia Durham is coming in.
So this is the same as we saw last week, where Ruby Fidge comes in from it was the first half hour from Zolly Adams, the second half hour from Ruby Fidge, and now what you would assume the final half hour from Olivia Durham.
Yeah, they must have a half-hour rule down at Sturt that no one knows about, but definitely getting the experience amongst the players at this early stage.
Does time up going once through the lineup, plus Chelsea Robinson each, or now once through the lineup. It was just 9 batters faced for Ruby Fidge. Didn't allow a run. Struck out a batter. She had bases loaded in the 4th, but got a ground out. And now Olivia Durham, the youngster, comes into the game, and she'll have a tough lineup to face. It's Sophie King, Chelsea Martinez, and Sophie Roberts. this part of the lineup, a combined 0 for 6 so far in the game. King did reach on an error, so this part of the lineup needs to heat up.
It does. This is the part that, you know, we expect from Walkerville to be around the mark, and so far today it's just been a little bit quiet from them. It's been the ones who don't normally or haven't normally been the go-to players who have been performing well today, so it doesn't take a lot to change that.
Well, especially if they can get King, who's normally a leadoff on, and add some speed and pressure. Walkerville still very much in this. They've just left so many base runners on. 6 so far in the game, including bases loaded in the 4th.
Just when Sophie King thinks she's going to see a pitcher for a second time, a new one walks on in. So she's getting the job of working out the new pace, working out the new styles, and doing her best to get herself on.
Sturt very intentful with everything they do. Top of the 5th inning, 3-1 game. In a very entertaining CMAX Premier League contest.
It's not often you can get a game where you can walk into it with a sort of idea of what you're going to do and then actually be able to put it into practice. And they've done it the other night, as you said, and they're doing it again here.
Well, every team managing their arms and how they start this season a little bit differently. King to right field. The leadoff is going to get on.
Yep, that's what we talked about, and that definitely helps in this top of the lineup do that. As we see here on the replay, she's got the outside pitch. She's reached for it and plonked it right in the gap nicely. Abby Kennedy couldn't do anything about that.
Well, that would be a good time for a hit for Chelsea Martinez.
Yeah, she's been a bit quiet. She's in this game so far. The strikeout looking in the first at bat. The second one, she put it to second nicely for Rachel Donkin, who just easily got it across, and she'll be looking to try and advance this runner, and with the speed of Sophie King, something decent might get her around to third.
Martinez up the middle, right on cue. It'll dribble all the way to Cameron King. Rounds 2. She's going to 3. It's a 1-3 split to start the inning for Walkerville.
As I said, Sophie King's got speed. Chelsea Martinez comes to the fore when she just needs to. Absolutely gun hit, and that speed of Sophie King was going to get her around to second comfortably. Now we see Sophie Roberts come up, who last at bat put a nice one deep out to centre field. So a replay of that will score a run and put another one in running scoring position. Interesting, Zali Adams today having 31 pitches, 21 of them strikes. And then Ruby Fitch had 37 pitches, 24 of them strikes. So just the 2 innings pitched by both, fairly economical with their strike count as well.
Roberts flies one back. They feel like this is the moment for Walkerville in this game with only 20 minutes to go before no new innings.
Yeah, you'd imagine it would be the go-to time. They've got 2 out there who can move around the bases quick. They're in a good, strong part of their lineup.
Roberts. And it drops in the field of play. It's going to be a hit. A run is going to score. She's out at first, but an awkward one, and it's a 3-2 game.
I need to see a replay of that. Sophie Roberts, I think she just thought she was done. She's sort of looking and just walking off. Plays in, has to get rid of the bat and get moving, and probably cost herself an on base there if she just got going when it went up.
Well, it's sort of an awkward one because if she runs too close to them, I mean, she probably should have been a bit further down the line, but it was always going to be an awkward spot then for the runner at first to get over towards second. Either way, Martinez is now at second. There's 1 out, 1 run in. Dribbled over towards first, trapped by Riley Moore. And now it advances the runner to third. We'll see if Jenny Gray, who already has a base hit to center, can tie this game up.
That was a good hit out to centre field last time as well, as we see the speed-up runner coming into play here. And I think it was Chelsea Robinson's gone out there for the pitcher speed-up, which is not compulsory, but handy to get the speed of Chelsea on base. First time at bat, she had the sack bunt. Second time, she put it out to centre field. So she's doing what the coach has asked of her so far, Jenny.
Well, this would be a big moment for her. Either way, Walkerville hanging tough. Ball in the dirt, and again, there's Sarah Tonkin, so good for so many years. I mean, that is a play that you should make as a catcher, but we've seen catchers not make it before, and that would have been tie ball game.
That's her job, but I'd love to know how many of them she's trapped over the year preventing run scoring.
Well, she's done 2 in the last 2 pitches.
She's on cue.
3-1 count. Olivia Durham in the game.
And Olivia, obviously, the younger of the 3 pitchers that they've got, probably the least experienced of the 3 they've got, but has had opportunities and will be testing herself here.
Now it's a walk. Lots of pressure on these base paths all game long.
And we saw Georgia Mason last year used a lot as a designated sort of player to be able to hit that ball out to the outfield, and you know, that's what she's capable of doing. This is her time to shine.
2 outs, 2 on. 1-run game, and another nice trap from Sarah Tonkin.
You're doing a lot of work behind the plate here, Sarah, and she's 3 for 3 with it in this innings.
Nice job from Durham to get back with the strike, the youngster. Can they string together a big hit? It's crushed to center field, but right to Maddie Cameron to end the inning.
Well, I said that she's capable of a good hit. Unfortunately, just picked out someone who makes very little errors out there at centre field, Maddie Cameron, and she made good ground quickly and got herself in good position.
They'd be knocking on the door, and that time it was a little louder. But that all-star center fielder in Maddie Cameron, another really nice play. A 3-2 game. Sturt scored 2 in the first inning of this game. It was an exciting opening stretch of the game, but Abby Weir had a hit by pitch. Belinda White reached on a bunt, and then there was an error. Maddie Cameron had a sacrifice fly, and all of a sudden it was 2-0. Just a couple little errors from Walkerville, and they were behind the 8 ball earlier.
Yeah, these next 2 at-bats are going to be really important for both Sturt and Walkerville, as I'm about to get stabbed by the marquee here at the moment.
Under the Jill Williams Pavilion?
Yeah, Mum's Pavilion that's trying to kill me. Just looking around, you know, they're about to roll into the top of their lineup again here, Sturt, and Walkerville will be doing the same when they come back at bat. 2 critical, important times at bat, given that we're at the hour and 10-minute mark.
Walkerville were down 2-0 early. They did respond, though. They made it a 2-1 game, and then a runner was thrown out at the plate. That would have been the tying run. Sturt then expanded their lead to 3-1 in the 3rd. Walkerville just struck back to make it 3-2 here in the bottom of the 5th, as it has all of a sudden got late in this ball game. Just 15 minutes to go before no new innings. So you would figure Walkerville have probably likely one more at bat. If things go really quickly, they'll have 2.
Yeah, you'd imagine one more at bat. If they get 2, obviously we'll end up going close to a regulation. Well, it will be a regulation game by then, but as I said, both teams coming into the strong parts of their lineup, or what should be their strong parts of their lineup. So next 2 at-bats will be interesting.
Holding edge on that upper edge of the plate. Pitch called on the inside. She's got a couple of those go her way today. Her third strikeout. They've all been looking.
Yeah, and second one for Abby herself. First time looking and second time looking, so.
She was thinking about going. You can see it on the CMAX replay that Kennedy was, I mean, she almost had that trigger going. You can see it in the legs.
Yeah, she turned and was ready, but just held back.
Critical out here. Rachel Tonkin, so different with one out and one out and one on with Tonkin, Weir, and White coming, compared to Tonkin being out and Sarah Tonkin then coming up to plate with nobody on.
Yeah, if they spin around to the top here with 2 out, that'll make it a lot, obviously, more difficult for Sturt, but a different game for that top order who normally like to roll around with people sitting out in those bases.
Tonkin knocked into the outfield. It's a base hit.
Reached onto that. She saw it early, liked it, got her hands through it nicely and picked the gap beautifully between shortstop and third, as you see here on the CMAX replay. And finds herself up at first comfortably with only the 1 out.
Well, 3 batters away is Belinda White, and you would hate if you're Walkerville to let Belinda have the hammer in hand and a chance to really pull it away. These next 2 outs, critical. It starts with Sarah Tonkin. She's 1 for 2 in the game today, and she is caught wonderfully behind the plate. The pitch from Martinez. And looking for that outside edge.
Yeah, she's very patient. Her last at bat, she soaked up a lot of pitches. She'll be looking to do the same here unless she sees one early in her realm that she likes.
Just drops into that strike zone at the very last second, doesn't it?
It does. She comes from a long way up. She's quite a tall pitcher, and you see when her release point is, and then she just ends up, just falls at that last second.
Swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt, but it's going to be she'll be called out because there was a runner at first. That will advance her sister Rachel to second. A 4th strikeout of the game and 2nd of the inning for Martinez. Runner in scoring position for Abby Weir.
Martinez hasn't pitched too bad at all. I mean, only 3 runs against you, and maybe 1 or 2 of them got on and scored through possibly an error. So she hasn't pitched too bad against a lineup that is known to be quite strong.
Good take from Sophie Roberts. Runner in scoring position now. Belinda White standing on deck. Walkerville have done a good job just to hang tight in this game. They fell behind early. They've chipped away slowly. And a big strike thrown from Martinez to avoid going down 3-0.
Yeah, Abby Ware here is just going to stay calm and controlled and get herself on base somehow. Give Belle White the opportunity to try and get the runs home. Alternatively, she can get the ball out and hit it out nicely and score the run herself.
Hitters count. Where over towards second. King tried to take it on the backhand. She'll just eat it, and it'll be runners on the corners, and Belle White has an opportunity to really put Sturt ahead.
Yeah, it'll probably go down, I'd imagine, maybe as an error in the book, but it was actually well done, because if that ball had got thrown out to the outfield, that was another run scoring. So they've managed to hold it at 2 out, runners on the corners. The only damaging thing is the person who's coming up to bat.
And Walkerville know it too. They had a long discussion in the circle with Martinez, and they've decided to pass her up. They're not going to take their chances with Bell White, so they'll load the bases, but this is the tricky part of the Sturt lineup. You can pass up Bell White, but then you have to face Maddie Cameron, and now it's bases loaded.
It doesn't get any better. Maddie's had a couple of good strikes at the ball. The sack fly initially out to centre field, then the follow-up fly.
I don't know about passing Bell up. I know lots of times that's the right call, but you usually do it when there's not someone as threatening as Maddie Cameron behind. And Maddie Cameron's, like you said, she's seen the ball well today. She has the RBI for Sturt in this game. The rest of being off of errors and pass balls. I mean, you got to protect the runner at third is what you should be thinking about, in my mind at least.
Yeah, that's right.
With the game in the balance?
Game in the balance. You've loaded the bases, made the force on, but you've got someone who's, with 2 out, you've got someone who can crunch a ball.
Now you could potentially allow 3 runs rather than just a punishing hit. And it's going to be grounded over to third. It is bobbled, and a run will score. So it was the right play. They got the ground ball, but Sturt are going to capitalize and make it a 4-2 game.
Yeah, it just bounced up. Again, Georgia Mason had to get over it. The last kick come up a little bit higher than she expected. It's got through her. Chelsea Robinson had the backup, but that's the danger when you created the force.
A few unearned runs on the board, and it is now 4-2. And the inning continues. Riley Moore. Crushed. It's going to split a gap. 1 run's in. Bell White will score. Maddie Cameron's going to score easily. It is a bases clearing knockout punch from Riley Moore.
I'm not sure what happened there, but lovely piece of the ball all the way out to the outfield. Ian Gray at thirds, copped the ball into the head, I think, or something to the head. His hat was off. So you see here a lovely piece of the ball. She just got nice and flat all the way out there. Had to go after it, Hayley Mayer. It made it to the fence, came back. She got the throw in. Then the throw that came in then from Chelsea Robinson hits the third base umpire fair and square. And the hat came off, but tough. Ian, he's standing up okay.
Well, that error proving costly. What should have been a ground ball to end the inning and keep it a 3-2 game turns into 1 run to make it 4-2. And Riley Moore, with 1 swing of the bat, has just made it a 7-2 ball game.
That makes a lot of pressure, obviously, back on Walkerville. But as you said, giving up that intentional walk, 2 out, was it the right call? Well, it looked like it was going to be the right play, but then the unfortunate error.
And that has taken a lot of gas out of Walkerville's chances. Martinez will just need a moment. They're going to run out of time soon, too. No new innings after about the 4:25 mark. I'm not too sure when the first minute of the game was, if it was right on 3, but around that mark.
Yeah, we started pretty well on time. I think that Walkerville's probably going to get 1 more at-bat.
So, Walkerville, unless something crazy happens and somehow this at-bat lasts even longer to finish the 5th. Yeah, that's another point getting pointed out from our incredibly talented scoring and aware scoring crew. The Jill Lindy combination. But 2 runs here, it's a run rule.
It is a run rule.
Up the middle, they got to make this play. Scooped up by Robinson, never in doubt. So Walkerville will stay mathematically alive. They'll have 1 more crack at it. But an error and then a bases clearing double from Riley Moore has blown this one out to a 7-2 game.
Yeah, that was the danger with Sturt coming back through that part of their lineup, and they made the most of it. And now Walkerville, who are going to be doing the same, they'll start down at batter number 8. They need to get these 2 on base and then the top half to really make some effort in that box and get the ball, get the runners around, have any chance of bringing this game back alive. Otherwise, after they're at bat, with only 4 minutes to go, I'd imagine it will probably be all over.
Well, they got Saunders and Gall. They have to start to string together a bunch of hits here. You just saw Sturt put 4 up in an inning, so it's not out of the question. And Walkerville had been pressuring all game long, but 8 runners left on base, a runner thrown out at home, a runner thrown out at third. They've had opportunities, a hard hit ball that was right up the middle. And Maddie Cameron had to make a great play in center field to keep a run off the board. So they've had opportunities. And a bunch of errors costing them big time on the other end of the spectrum as well.
And on top of that, you know, Sturt, they've been clinical in the field. We saw the wonderful play from right field through to home to get the tag out at home. Avi Ware had a little moment early, but once she's found her feet, she's been fine there. And otherwise, the 3 pitches Sturt have rolled through have been very handy today.
Saunders chops it away.
But that's what Sturt can do. They can take an innings and can just rip it away from a team. And that's what we've seen, the teams that didn't make the finals last year, that was the impact on them. They had 1 innings where a team will get on top of them, and that was the difference between a game.
We talked earlier in the broadcast about Sturt being punishing when you make a mistake, and that's rung true this entire game. You think the first inning, there was the hit by pitch, there was the error, and 2 runs came aboard to score, and then their big inning, what probably, as this is knocked foul, what probably should have been an inning-ending ground ball to keep the game 3-2. They didn't make the play, and then all of a sudden 4 runs cross the plate for Sturt, and they pull away. If you make a mistake, they will score. Another run scored off of a pass ball. You have to play a perfect defensive game if you want a chance to beat Sturt.
Yeah, you've got to play your all-round game. Everything has to be going right.
Saunders swings and misses, and that makes things very difficult.
Well, it brings Steph Goal up, who's had 2 singles so far today, 1 out to right field, 1 out to centre field. So she needs to start again here and get on base to make something happen for Walkerville.
And we are about to hit the no new innings rule. So even though we're in the top half of the 6th inning and Sturt technically could bat, they'll call this game if they do not score 5 runs right now.
Just a small task.
Ball in the dirt, inconsequential. Can they get a runner on for Robinson and King just to apply a little bit of pressure? It's the right part of the lineup if you want to mount a rally.
It is the right part of the lineup. Given that the lead that Sturt's got, the entire lineup's going to have to do something though as well. So, but it's going to have to start from these top 2 or 3 that are going to come in shortly if they get their chances.
Knocked over towards second. Tompkins made that play time and time again, and Walkerville down to their final out.
Yeah, as you see here on the replay, ball just rolled along. The last minute just took a little bounce up, but Rachel's made that place her home, and she's comfortably been able to field that one and get the out.
Same strategy for Sturt as last week. Each pitcher getting a half-hour time slot in the game, 1 time through the lineup. This is the 9th batter for Olivia Durham. But with a 5-run lead, no threats looming. Doesn't matter what Chelsea Robinson will do. She'll finish this game, Olivia Durham. Off to right field. In the air, and Kennedy tries to get down the ball, wavered on her in the last second, and Chelsea Robinson is aboard.
Yeah, that one there got up in the air and looked like it was traveling a bit better, and I think Abby Kennedy just held back a bit on it. As you see, she makes a bit of ground in, confident, and then at the last minute has to change the glove down and really reach, and just got it down at her toes and couldn't hold it.
Well, that would have ended the game. Instead, hope lives on for Sophie King and the Walkerville Cats. King swings at the first pitch, this high up in the air. Tonkin has a look, but that's escaped the boundary of the playing field.
Single out to right field last time for Sophie, so she can get that again, get another one on base, and just keep ticking them over.
Down to their final strike. Can Sophie King keep this going? King to right field. That drops in for a base hit, and it's runners on first and second. Now, getting runners on has not been the problem.
It's played sort of a game in two halves here for Walkerville. That first half of the game was the bottom half were getting on, the top half were struggling, and it's flipped. Now the top half are getting on, and the bottom half are struggling.
It's just a tale of two different teams. Sturt have taken advantage of every opportunity that they have been given. And Walkerville have had plenty of opportunities, and they haven't been able to find anyone to cross the plate. They've been in the mix. The 7-2 scoreline's deceptive. Walkerville have arguably probably generated a lot more chances in this game than Sturt.
Yeah, I'd have to have a look, see if I can find the numbers, but left on base, I think Walkerville left a few on base out there today, and that'll hurt.
I think it's 8 right now. Martinez, it's in the air, charging on is Cameron, and oh, the ball slipped at the last second, but she makes the play, and that will end the game. A very opportunistic Sturt Falcons team will soar to a 2-0 record to start the CMAX Premier League.
Yeah, this one here just got up nice and high, right in the sun. And Maddie just seemed to struggle with keeping her eye on that one. And as a result, she sort of got herself out of position. As you see, she just put the glove and hoped in the end, and it just happened to find the glove.
A 7-2 final score today for the Sturt Falcons, who, yeah, I mean, so they were handed a couple opportunities from Walkerville, and just good lesson that shows you have to be able to execute the fundamentals, especially defensively, because there's too many talented players that can take advantage of it. And on the field, by the way, Lucy Weir was pretty good as well. Or not Lucy Weir, Abby Weir over at third base. This is back in the first inning. That's Maddie Cameron's sacrifice fly. It was more of a sacrifice line shot. That opened the scoring to put things up at 1-0. They added some more. You put the ball in play. Riley Moore did that, and they made it a 2-0 game. The Falcons were able to respond, though. They cut it to a 2-1 deficit, and they thought that maybe they had tied the game. But how's the relay here to throw the tie-in runner out at the plate? Kept it a 2-1 game. Sturt, though, were able to keep responding. A pass ball made it a 3-1 game. Again, execution, execution, execution. Walkerville, though, well, they weren't dead yet. This was a bit of an awkward one. It ended up scoring a run, but Sophie Roberts didn't get on base. They had bases loaded so many times in this game. Now here it was 3-2, bases loaded. Maddie Cameron grounded into what thought was an inning-ending play. They scored a run, and then that allowed Riley Moore to deliver the uppercut to knock Walkerville out of this game. A bases clearing double. When at 4-2, Ian Gray wears one off the noggin. He's okay. And that is how this game wrapped up. Pete, final takeaways from this game.
Yeah, look, Walkerville couldn't hold their head high. They lost, they've lost the game. But at the end of the day, looking at the numbers here, they've had 10 hits in the game. So they've got the bat on ball. They've spread it across. It just didn't all mold together at the right time, and unfortunately for them, in 10 hits, they also left 10 on base.
Well, that will wrap things up for our coverage today. We'll be back again on Wednesday night. No streams next Saturday, I don't believe, but we'll be back on Wednesday night for sure with Seacom and West Torrens live on Spacequake Sports and all the Softball SA channels. Peter Williams, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.